Hello chess lovers, Suren here, and in this video I want to share with you the famous scandalous game played between Azerbaijani chess grandmaster Shakhriyar Mamedyarov and Russian chess grandmaster Igor Kurnosov. The game was played in 2009 at Moscow Aeroflot Open. The reason that this game became famous and was discussed heavily is that after the game Mamedyarov accused Kurnosov of cheating. After this game, Mamedyarov even withdrew from the event, and in particular, here is what he wrote in his protest. My opponent went out the playing hall after each move, took his coat and withdrew himself on the toilet. After suspicion of unfair play on move 14, I offered a draw. He refused. We quickly played 11 moves. On the 12th move, I played a move which confused my opponent. The next moves from him were given as first choice by Rybka, which quickly allowed him to win the game. So now I would like to go through the game, and then we will also read Kurnosov's comment on this. By the way, for those who do not know, I have to tell you that Kurnosov passed away tragically in 2013. He was hit and killed by a car. So in this game, Mamedyarov was playing with white pieces, and he opened up with d4, to which Kurnosov responded with knight f6, c4, g6, and f3. We have the anti-Grьnfeld system by white. d5, c takes d5, knight takes d5, e4. White is erupting a massive center, knight b6, knight c3, bishop g7, bishop e3, black castled kingside, queen d2, knight c6, and in here we have castling queenside. So we have opposite side castlings, and I have to tell you that this line leads to double-edged positions. f5 by Kurnosov. In return, he is also adding fuel to the fire. In here, queen d6 is considered to be a solid move, but in our game we have an aggressive move by black f5, with which he is challenging white's pawn center. h4, white is not even paying attention what's going on in the center, and after f takes e4, this time we have h5. White's idea is simple: to open up the h file, offer the exchange of dark squared bishops, and announce a checkmate. That's how it goes in typical positions, right? G takes h5 and d5. Here is what Kurnosov wrote. A well-known theoretical position which I consider to be better for black. Here my opponent played a move which was new to me. So it turns out that this d5 move was a novelty for Kurnosov, and he was expecting rook takes h5. Rook takes h5 is the main move, but in our game we have d5. Knight d5, bishop h6, there we have it. White is proceeding with his plan. Knight c4, queen g5 with a direct mating threat, rook f7, and after thinking for over 40 minutes, Mamedyarov captured on c4. But in here, going for the exchange of dark squared bishops and capturing on h5 is better. In this case, when white is removing black's dark squared bishop, is softening the pressure on the long diagonal. But instead, in our game, we have bishop takes c4 and knight takes c4 by Kurnosov, and here is what he writes. After thinking over his previous move for 40 minutes, my opponents now offered me a draw. However, I considered that I had a serious advantage and saw no grounds for taking a draw. And it was in here that Mamedyarov made a mistake and played rook d4. Relying on the pin, he's attacking black knight, but this is a mistake. Instead, it was not too late to go for the exchange of dark squared bishops and then play queen takes h5. By the way, in here, f takes e4 is not good. Well, knight takes e4 steps into knight takes b2. That's why it was better to exchange the bishops. And if f takes e4, then this is also not good. Black can play queen d6, with which black is switching his queen into the game. Queen b4 can be a nice threat. And now if a move like bishop takes g7, then rook takes g7. If queen takes h5, then bishop g4. Yeah, white is in trouble. Or in here, if queen h4, then queen b6. And if b3, then queen e3 check. And then bishop g4. Yeah, white is in trouble, and then knight a3 check is coming. Let's go back. But in our game, instead of playing bishop takes g7, we have rook d4, queen d6 by Kurnosov, And finally we have bishop takes g7, but looks like that already is too late. Black has an advantage. Rook takes g7, queen takes h5, queen f4 check, king b1, and bishop f5. Now black is threatening a discovered check, and by the way, rook takes c4 can't be played because after he takes f3 discovered check you have to give up your queen, otherwise you can get checkmated. And after bishop f5, yeah, it's difficult to find a good continuation for white. You can't move away your king from the dangerous diagonal because of this queen c1. In here, white should have chosen knight ge2, although even in this case, black is maintaining advantage. After the exchange of queens on g5, g takes f3, knight e3, yeah, black is enjoying a huge advantage. Let's go back. In our game after bishop f5 we have f takes e4, which is even worse. Here comes bishop g4 harassing white queen, and knight ge2. Well, queen h6 is an alternative, but after queen f2, yeah, again black is winning. If rook takes c4, then queen f1 check, winning the rook. Let's go back. In our game after bishop g4 white counterattacked black queen, but after this devastating queen d2 move, Mamedyarov resigned. By putting the queen emprise, black is also threatening checkmate in one. And now if rook takes d2, then after knight takes d2 check, king c2, black can win white queen. Yeah, and in the end of the day, black is an exchange up. So after queen d2, we have a resignation. A beautiful move, right? Queen d2, and here is what Kurnosov writes. Here my opponent stopped the clocks and, without shaking hands or signing the score sheet, approached the arbiter's table. The rest you know yourselves. In response to Mamedyarov's charges, Kurnosov said, I believe that every chess player, regardless of titles or ratings, should have respect for himself and his colleagues, and should not make accusations of computer use without any foundation or evidence whatsoever, especially when they have played the game quite weakly. Mamedyarov's claim that I have left the playing hall after every move, taking my code with me and went into the toilet, does not correspond with the facts. During the first 12 moves, which we played quite quickly, I did not once leave the hall. Whilst my opponent was thinking for 40 minutes over his 15th move, I twice went to the smoking area, which was located just 2 meters from the door into the hall, and where there were always quite a few other players, arbiters and also security guards. I also several times went and splashed cold water over myself without ever speaking to anyone. Neither before nor after the protest did the arbiter show any unusual interest in me, as claimed in the press. I behaved exactly as I always do. Whilst my opponent is thinking, I find it easier to think about the position whilst walking around, without looking at the board. As far as I know, most other chess players do exactly the same. Well, this is it, dear chess lovers. It will be also very interesting to know your comments about this incident. By the way, I have to tell you that I compared Kurnosov's moves with Rybka's suggestions and they precisely match. But you know, they were really very natural moves, and taking into consideration the attacking nature of black's position, it's very likely that they can be made by a grandmaster. The reason that I didn't put the engine window on the screen is that Rybka is running very slowly on my computer, like the speed is 100 kns, that's why I decided to remove it. Anyways, waiting for your comments, and in the end, let me also sharpen your technical skills with a simple chess puzzle. Please take a look at this position and try to find the mating line for white. It's white to move, and I will wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Here are more suggestions for you. Feel free to check them out as well. I will see you in my next video. Take care.